other part of it, I actually put it in the freezer. I think I said the fridge, but I put it in the freezer so it'd be good and cold, and
All
I
right.
could dump some whiskey in there, and it would just be good to go, you know. And since I dumped it out, the only like cola I had left in the house had been sitting out on the cupboard in a 2 liter bottle, so now it's warm. Because my whiskey's in the liquor cabinet, the cola was out on the counter.
So now, not only do you have to look at the non-time save, it was actually the time waste that you discussed, but you have to look at your electrical bill, your energy efficiency of like cooling down that stuff, just the
Yeah,
act of opening the freezer.
everything about this strategic move backfired on me in the most horrific way possible.
You're talking about the podcast, right?
Whenever I answer the phone, I'm like, hello.
What pissed you off?
It's a great argument to have.
I love my mom, but I think she's half crazy for doing that.
How dare you?
Do you work with your girlfriend, Mark? Or your wife? Mark?
I keep them separated. Sometimes I call people, they don't answer the phone. I'm like,
Wrong number, click.
Well, he's not that smart, but sometimes he sounds like he knows what he's doing.
yeah.
Go.
Therefore, you're an ass, and I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, but what do we know? What is the, what's the weather like there, fellas? Both your guys' places?
Well,
it's a little cold for me.
yeah. I was going to say, I think I never heard if we did it, but I know we've had a lot of close to record-breaking colds in the past couple weeks.
We hit it in DC.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
The
we very
record-breaking cold.
I know. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. It was showing like in my vehicle. It was showing 20 below zero on my way into work, and that doesn't even take into account the wind chill.
That sounds
Okay.
cool.
It was miserable. In fact, I had to. I walked over to this other area. I was working in a different department on that day, Thursday, and so outside of the door to go into this department, there's like I don't know, kind of a chintzy like covering, so that if it's raining or something, you're not getting rained on while you're walking in the door. And it also has these like square metal rails on either side that are just part of the support to hold up that little like awning thing.
Did you pull a Christmas story? Did you lick it?
No,
Your
no,
tongue stuck to it for a while.
no. But so on my way over there, I always take my lunchbox and I carry like a jug of water in one hand. My other hand is my cup of coffee. And when I go into that door, I set my cup of coffee down on that handrail and just enough time to open the door, stop it with my foot, grab my coffee, and go in. Literally 2 seconds, that coffee's sitting on that rail. It froze enough to the point that it like broke free of the rail. Like, does that make sense? Like, it offered resistance to me trying to pick it up. Enough to where I spilled half my cup of coffee all over the place.
Nice.
No,
So you're
it
spilling
wasn't-
things left and right.
I know.
So, being that cold, on the news constantly, they always do that stupid thing when it gets cold, and they'll show that one newscaster who goes outside with the steaming hot, cup of water, and they throw it in the air, and they come back and they're like, "See, did you see it like turned into snow?" I have never ever seen one of those turn into snow in my entire life. It's just water that goes up and crashes back down, and they're always like, "Oh my God, that was crazy," and I'm like, I have never seen what they talk about. Like, is that even possible?
Yeah, well, what happens is when you boil water, right? It's the steam that freezes, not the actual water that like falls onto the ground. So it doesn't all turn into snow, but the little micro droplets of water will freeze.
And
So when you throw it, so it is possible to throw water and have it freeze up in the air. But
have you ever seen it actually happen when the newscasters go do it?
I've seen it in videos before, but I haven't seen it like on the news.
I know as someone who worked outside for a long time in different, well, actually a couple different jobs, really. It was for real cold here on Thursday. It was probably the coldest day like I remember feeling outside in my life. Like it was miserable.
Of course, it's one of those things, Jeff. Like, it's hard to believe that it can be done, but it's one of those things that you don't also do. Even like you don't go like, man, it's so freezing cold. Let me boil some water and throw it outside.
But the thing is, I want to because I have honestly seen multiple newscasters do it, and every
Okay.
time that they've done it, I've never seen it happen. Like in my mind, I watch it on TV, and I'm like, you threw water in the air, and the water came back down and hit the pavement, and then you go and be like, that's how cold it is outside. I'm like, I don't know what you just showed me. Like you showed me nothing happening.
Well, it's a little hard to see because like when you throw it in the air, the steam of the water is also what's turning into snow. So it looks like the snow and the steam are the same thing.
See, but if you
Maybe.
pulled up a video right now, you could easily go to YouTube and find a video of people doing this. I bet you couldn't see anything. You couldn't tell anything that was happening, and in your mind, all it would be is water going up and water coming down and hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's just,
are you
maybe
are
it's
you
one
are
of
you
those-
saying if I go to YouTube right now, I could find someone throwing hot water into the air and it
Here
turns
we
into snow?
go.
Is that, is that what you're saying, Jeff?
Yes.
I like it. I like where this is going.
Oh man.
'Cause I'm pretty sure I've seen a YouTube video of someone throwing water into the cold air and it turning, not all of it, but you know,
Enough
the
of it that
steam
you
of
can
it.
actually see it,
The
because
steam.
I would like you to show me that. Like in the next, I'd give you, I would make a bet, but giving you a time limited search, because if you scour the internet, you could probably find somebody who video edited something together to make it so obvious on what happened. But I want it to be like a news channel.
A news channel.
Yes.
See, I don't know if a news channel, because that's a little bit more specific. Like, I bet you find, like, oh, somebody in Russia throwing.
Yeah,
But I
and,
don't
and the
know.
whole Russia part of
Or-
a YouTube video kind of scares me on validity that would happen to go around that.
Well, you could get lucky, like a scientist at Antarctica or something might have tried it just for the heck of it.
But
I don't know though.
I think you're going to find a bunch of them from news stations, but I think you're going to
Right.
watch them and be like, I don't see what happened.
Yeah, it's not going to be like 100%, like the smoking gun,
Right.
so to speak. Like it's going to be, it'll look sort of, it could be, it might not be. You don't really know.
So Mark,
Well, see, now you're getting.
but
So,
no,
I'm
that was
sure-
the whole point of starting this conversation, was saying that all these news channels, I've seen them do
Right.
this, but I've never actually, when they did it, I'm like, I don't see what you're talking about. You're trying to make something, you're trying to do exactly what newscasters do, make something out of absolutely nothing. Like,
I'm willing to take this bet. I haven't actually looked it up yet, so. Do you want to do it? Like,
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
what's the time limit?
Like 5 minutes or something like that. You can search
Okay.
it while we talk about other
not,
things.
not the whole episode.
Yes.
How about
Yeah,
that?
until the end of the episode, and all we'll do is sit here and wait until you're done.
So
Right.
we've been well-marked searches. Jeff, have you seen the video? And I wish I should have
Probably.
looked this up because I don't have awesome information on this, but I believe it was somewhere over in one of the New England states where a Jeep SUV like backed out of a parking spot, and it had like ice had formed like part of its grill, and so when it backed up, like there's still an ice like formation of its grill left in the parking spot. It's crazy.
No, I haven't seen. I've seen the guy who opens, like, there was one video. It was actually about it was showing a cat playing in the snow, and like I think it was up in Boston, and the guy opened the door, and the door imprint, like the snow just opened, and it was like half of it was like the door imprint that was opened up and showing, and that was kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I wish I would have looked this up. I can do it real quick, but it was. Yeah, oh, there it is. If you Google
I
Jeep
wanna-
grill in ice, like
Jeep
it's the first thing
grill
that pops
in ice.
up.
I want to see this now because we make
Yeah, it is
riveting
great.
podcast video.
Yeah, this doesn't make good, pod for sure. But
Jeep grill and ice sounds so funny.
if you could maybe post a picture of this like on the video or something.
I don't
so-
actually Jeep grill in ice.
Yeah.
I don't see it at all. I see somebody removing a grill from a Jeep Wrangler.
Did you search on Google?
No, I searched on YouTube. I think I said YouTube.
Oh, no. It's just a picture. I don't think there's a
Oh, it's
video.
a picture. Gotcha. Jeep grill on ice. Picture of the day. Oh, that is awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That is awesome.
Post that to the video so people watching us on YouTube can see that.
Let's add it to the video as we speak.
But yeah, that's let me see if I can find real quick where it's from. Oh, North Carolina, it says. But yeah, it's a Jeep that backs out of a parking spot, and it's still their grill is just left there.
Yeah, that is pretty freaking amazing. I actually, it looks like artistic almost.
I know, it does.
Like, I mean, I just covered up my own face with it, but people can see it now.
That'd probably be better for ratings anyway.
Ouch, that's sad. There it is. It's up on the thing for everybody who wants to see it. They can all see it now. How
All
beautiful.
right, good.
So, Mark, you're coming up on
Well,
3.5 minutes.
3 minutes.
So, so here's the thing. Like, I have one actually.
Here's the deal. I may or may not have this. You know,
Right.
want it.
Well, it depends on what. It depends on you if you think it looks like snow or not.
And
I guess.
that's what
your
I
opinion.
think it's going to come down to. So, I mean, I would love to see it, and hopefully this doesn't take up too much time
What?
from the podcast itself that people don't.
Well, here, let me give you this one. This one's actually, like I said, from Russia.
From
It's
Russia.
router.
Go
Oh, no.
figure.
It's
Yeah,
routers.
Ruskies
And
involved.
basically, the guy throws the water from a balcony, right? So he throws it from the air, and
Hold on a second.
It-
The videos are all
Hi,
screwed
guys.
up again. Because, oh my
This
god!
is
I can
Snowsibirsk,
hear it.
and
People
this is
can hear it
about
going.
minus.
Hold on. Every
Thank
time
you.
I go to get a link, I remember it screws up the the format of the screen. So now I have to get back over here.
Yeah,
What
I
you
don't
want?
want to play it because the audio will definitely come through in my mic.
Yeah, I just started playing it, and I'm trying to watch it right now. It's only a 59-second clip, so it's not long, and I'm already partway through it, trying to
Right.
see exactly what's going to happen with this thing.
I want to see it. I'm gonna have to play it and mute my mic.
It is from Russia. It's very, very, very high quality.
all right.
This is definitely not newscaster-like, but I'm still trying to look at this thing.
Well, RT is routers, not routers. It's Russian times or something like that.
I would say this is probably one of the best ones I have ever seen, but I don't think this fits the criteria that I was discussing.
See, because that's the thing. Because like I can understand why you could look at it and say that slow pile of whiteness. Oh, that could be steam, and it would be hard to say. Okay, it's not steam, but the way it moves, I would say maybe it's probably not. But
Yeah, I
Like,
would
guess-
give that video if that was like if it met the criteria, I would secede and say that yes, that fit exactly what I was like talking about. It was a very slow descent off of like the fifth story balcony of this dude's apartment,
Right.
and
it is a news program.
It's I don't know if you can say that. I'm saying a cup of water on a news program.
That was
Well, I
pretty
mean,
awesome.
that is a news program now. RT is a real news. It's a Russian-owned news program.
Can we really trust anything made by
That's
Russia?
that was my point exactly too. That like I said, that was the best one I've seen. I'm talking, but I laid out exactly what I was talking about for this bet.
Right.
I made it
So
extremely
you would have to-
clear about
That you would have to believe that it's snow.
and that one I would believe is snow, but that's not
Okay.
the type of video I was talking about. Made it very clear about the type of video I was like what News Channel
pretty well
12 back at
specified.
home.
Right. So you want something from America only news program now?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. Well, because you did say a real news station, right?
I did
right,
say
go
it
ahead.
from a real news
And-
station.
And the only thing you could really argue now is that it's not.
I did specifically say not from Russia. So you want to play semantics? Like we could play this all day long.
Okay. Well then.
give Mark a few more minutes to find an American news.
But I
But-
want you to see the ones that look so bad that they try to like. The whole point was the ones that
Yeah,
look
no,
so
we've-
bad that
I
are.
think probably everybody's seen those on their local news
And
broadcast.
I just think it's ridiculous that they do stuff like that. It's so.
One thing that surprised me about that video that Mark just showed, and maybe this is like, ignorant American thinking. I guess I really didn't know that, quote unquote, Siberia had like massive apartment complexes like that. Like I didn't really know that many people lived in quote unquote Siberia.
Yeah, but Siberia is huge.
Well, I understand that, but
Or
I mean, it's like basically thinking like Northern America is Siberia, or like Canada is Siberia.
Or that's why you play GeoGuessr. You learn more about the world through the playing of Mark and I. But while we were waiting for you, we played a round of GeoGuessr together. So
I don't even know what that is. So we'll have to investigate that further later. But like
Mike,
you mentioned Canada, Mark, like it's something, and I wish I had this stat in front of me, and of course I don't remember, but something like 80% of all Canadians live within 50 miles of the U.S. border because nobody wants to go further north than that, you know?
that
So
is
to see these massive apartment complexes in Siberia, it's, I don't know, it was kind of surprising to me. I guess I never really thought about it, and maybe it makes sense kind of on a global population level that people would live up there because we're running out of room, but I don't know. It's kind of just a weird awakening for me, I guess.
It's kind of weird awakening. So, this is interesting. If I look over at the program that I use to record this podcast, it is quite possible right now. I'm going to check that I hit I hit the wrong button.
Oh no!
Well, no. We're definitely recording, but I think we're live as well. So let me go see my page.
Wasn't playing up to where it was.
I don't think anyone would know to look for us, though, right?
It would give my subscriber. Yeah, we got 16 people watching us live right now. Like,
Sweet.
how funny.
What's up,
well, thanks.
people?
Well, no.
How's it going?
Oh, this is good. Oh,
Are
yeah,
you
it's
allowed
funny.
to do that,
The
though?
name of it is Test Stream. Stay away. That's really funny.
That's funny.
Hi guys, this wasn't even a test stream. Say hi, Cast.
Oh, what's up, people? How's it going?
Hey,
Oh, that
Cheers.
is funny. So now the question is, do I stop it or do I just keep it going?
Nah, just let it go.
All right, let it go, guys. You get to have a fun stream.
well, this is a
right now.
perfect opportunity if they want to actually ask us something, they can.
That's true. I'll leave it open in the corner and just see if they want to ask us stuff. But
So,
that'll be something else.
so my Chrome, it's crashed. It just won't load.
My Chrome
Have
won't
you
do
ever had
it
this
today
problem?
either.
Has anybody had a problem with Chrome crashing?
No, I mean like lately my computer crashes. Like the Chrome will crash and then it won't like reload. Sometimes it takes a computer restart for me to get Chrome to work again.
I have. I had to actually completely uninstall and reinstall Chrome a couple weeks ago because it just wouldn't even load. Even reloading my computer, if you hit the Chrome button, just nothing opened up.
Yeah, that's what mine is doing now. And actually, mine opened earlier, but it wouldn't load anything. So, like the web page I just watched that video on is I'm back to using Firefox because I can't use Chrome.
Yeah, that's I've definitely had that issue before. I luckily haven't dealt with it in a while, so I didn't need to do much with it lately. But it gets really annoying when it does because it always comes at the most inconvenient times. Like it's with anything. I guess there's never a convenient time for something to not work. But it's almost funnier that when things don't work on a regular basis and you learn workarounds for it, it's a lot easier to handle than when something just randomly stops working and you gotta figure out on the fly. Because like you said in a couple podcasts ago, when your Windows decides to update when you're trying to turn it on, and you really needed it on for something, like that's the most annoying thing in the world.
And I feel like my computer updates every 3 days or something.
Mine lately has been updating like every 3 days. It's ridiculous.
It drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Because I leave my computer on constantly because I'm constantly uploading or rendering videos, and I'll come home and it'll be completely off. And
I'm not constantly uploading and rendering videos.
Sure,
but mine is
you are. They're just different sites than I upload and render to. They start with U, but they don't end with tube.
No, I don't know, just Skype. It's been asking me to update, so I say okay, and then it's like it crashes and says like it can't update. And I'm like, what the hell? And every single time I load Skype now, it's like, let me update it. Okay, nope, can't do it.
it's you know who that might be like the best form of advertisement ever to build a hype for something that they quite haven't finished yet, because now you probably want it even more because that day that the update goes through, you're gonna be like, oh my god, it worked. The update took. And then
I'll be
No, it
calling
makes
my
me hate the
friends.
process.
I'll be calling friends all across the country. Skype updating.
Skype
Yes!
updated. If you haven't updated your Skype, do it now.
Well, here's the question for you guys: when Microsoft 10 comes out, are you going to update? Because if you have Windows 8.1 and all the way to Vista, I think it's update for free.
I don't know, because I finally got Windows 8.1 working in a way that I can utilize
Right.
with the normal start menu and all that stuff. And until they have those features that come out for 10, or maybe 10 comes with those features, I don't know. I have to see what Windows 10 is all about. I've seen a lot of information about 10 coming out recently about the ability to update, and I'm not really
Well,
sure.
it's free, and I think it's
Free's
actually
good.
pretty genius.
Does it have Media Center? That is going to be my question.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Windows 8 doesn't. Well, it does, but you have to pay $10 for Media Center after you upgrade to Windows 8 Pro, because you can't do it with just normal Windows 8.
I'll have to
So-
think about it too. Like I'm sort of a little bit different boat than Jeff, because Windows 8 for me, like I'm not constantly doing videos and things like Jeff is. I've learned to deal with Windows 8. Like I don't like the way Windows 8 is set up, but for what, my limited usage, like it's okay. I can deal with it.
It's getting
so
pretty good ratings.
what's that?
For
For the
I said
beta.
it's getting good ratings for the people who are like testing it out.
Right. Well, what I was going to say is, generally speaking, for something like that, like this new version of Windows, I'm generally speaking more inclined to let other people work all the bugs out before I upgrade. So I probably won't do it right away until I start hearing that they're getting some of the kinks worked out of it. Then I probably will.
I mean,
So
it'd probably be something to start with a dual boot. Well, you probably can't do an update with a dual boot, though, huh?
Oh.
The update for free is not going to work like that. I don't know anymore. It's so weird how I used to love to experiment with all the different operating systems when I was in like college, but there was so much easier to be able to do that. I don't just mean because you could illegally get a hold of them, like, because you could actually legally get a hold of most of the the RPM versions of everything, but you could set up like machines to dual boot, all these different things, which you can't really do anymore. I mean, you can. It's just your licenses are tied to like machine hardware.
What's
Which I don't
funny
like.
to me, what's funny to me is that you're starting to sound a little more old and curmudgeon-y, sort of like me.
That's I understand what you're saying with that. I don't believe I'm as old and curmudgeon-y.
No, oh no,
No,
definitely.
that's not possible.
I mean, I do
By the
use
way-
credit cards. I have basked in the acceptance of, a digital form of currency in a way, but I don't need to have paper cash all the time.
Well, Jeff, do you get AARP letters
I
coming to
was
your
totally
house?
just gonna bring that up. Is that ridiculous? You guys both saw that?
Yeah,
So-
how old do you have to be before you can join?
Well,
I don't know. For the people listening at home, and my wife made it like an immediate goal of hers to post this on Facebook so that everybody knew about it and could laugh along with her, and it was humorous. So the other day in the mail, I received, as a 35-year-old male, like an invite to sign up for AARP, which, for those of you who don't know, is like the American Association for Retired People or something. Like it's senior citizens, basically. So everyone got a good chuckle at my expense over that one. And it is funny, don't get me wrong. It was hilarious to open the mailbox and see my name on an AARP postcard.
Maybe they're-
I was hold on. I was a member of AARP when I was 24.
Why?
I randomly found a deal through a website that said free AARP membership, and I was like, I'll sign up for it because I'll take some of these like discounts that you get, like just being stupid because I didn't think it would go through, and I got an AARP card in the mail about 2 weeks later.
Did you ever use it?
I did not. I think I didn't know how to use it. I wasn't old and curmudgeon-y enough to know how to use an AARP card.
Just go to the movie theater and go, here you are, Sonny.
Right. Yeah, that's what it is. You get discounts at places, but like, it'd be gutsy for somebody my age to walk up and hand them an AARP card.
But then at the same time,
Or
it could be
depressing.
you could not really argue age discrimination per se. Like, that's not what I'm saying to do, but people get really offended nowadays. If you ever insult somebody's age or tell them they're older than they look or younger than they look, that's not a good thing. And you're really crossing a boundary if you're working somewhere and this day and age, and you'd be like, I don't know if you look old enough to be in the AARP. I think you'd actually probably run into some issues with your job, because people just take offense to everything nowadays. And
I don't know. That'd be a pretty tall order for me to pass for 65, or I don't even know what the age is you're supposed, but I think maybe it's 55.
see, you could pass for 55, Mike.
Oh, I don't think so. Come on.
Just shave your head right here, just
Right, just around
in
here.
the center, and then you're good.
He's got like razor bumps and stuff in the top of his head. I forgot when I did that I put my little mohawk in today.
Yeah.
And for everybody watching, I've never done this before. I was literally brushing my hair for the podcast because I worked the night shift last night, and I was like, screw it, let's do something stupid. And I threw a mohawk in there. So
I was going to ask about the mohawk. I just hadn't got around to it yet.
So, Mark wanted to also, talking of appearances, Mark wanted to explain something that he's wearing.
Okay, so I'm wearing this shirt. Okay, and you're like, oh, what's the big deal with New York? Well, someone specifically asked, can you wear like a shirt with like Japanese English on it? Like basically one of those funny, goofy grammar shirts. And I went to my closet, and this is the best that I could find because I don't actually buy really any of those shirts. And the shirt at the bottom says, actually in the back, maybe you can see, it says, street, cool guys running in the very cool town. Very fun. It's backwards probably for you guys, but that's the worst shirt that I have. But I mean, there are really inappropriate shirts being worn by sometimes even my elementary students. You're just like, if you were to translate this shirt, you would probably, not feel right putting it on until like an 8 or 10-year-old child, just because sometimes there's swear words, sometimes there's sexual innuendos, and it's just like, this is a shirt for a kid. I don't know why they would put in, but.
Well, before we get into talking about that, I looked it up real quick, and the guy's name who sent that message was Rifle X, RIFLEXX. Thank you for your comment on YouTube.
So, Mark, I'm a little dismayed. If I was living in a place that had these horrible English words, people were wearing sexual innuendos to class because they didn't know what it meant in English, and therefore it's an acceptable thing to do. How do you not have some of the most ridiculous shirts just because you could?
I mean, the only time to wear
one
the
that says
shirt
just walk around with one that says I sex please. Like it's just like all it says on your shirt. Just wear it constantly.
I don't know. It's not like I go into stores and like, oh, I sex please. That's the shirt I want to wear.
See, that's what I would say though.
Another issue is just size. Like this shirt is.
Oh, they only make the I sex please for smaller children. They don't make them for grown adults.
Well, no, like even like normal clothes in Japan.
Just onesies.
I'm like one size too big in Japan. Like a lot of shirts are like small on me, so I just don't buy them because they don't fit me.
I think you're missing a great opportunity there, Mark.
Well, I feel like there's probably a higher ratio of Japanese people who actually know some English. You could probably figure it out, and Mark would probably be fired on pretty short order.
Well, I wear a suit to work, so I don't really wear any of the clothes.
Well,
You have to wear a suit to teach?
Huh?
You have to wear a suit to teach every day?
Yeah.
Wow.
You could start a new line of business attire in Japan, and it's the I sex please suits. I mean,
this is an idea.
Of course, I'm sort of over it. Like I've lived in Korea, Thailand, and Japan, and like you see those kind of shirts every once in a while. So
You're gonna come back
you
to
know,
them. You're gonna come back to
nothing.
America and start teaching kids one day and be like, "Why are these kids not wearing like I sex please shirts? Like, how is that brand not spread through America?"
Well, I'll tell you, one of the weird things in Japan isn't so much the inappropriate shirts. It's just the inappropriate clothes by our standards. Okay, and what I mean by this is that, uh, like, it's freaking cold out, and yet, uh, young students, elementary boys, they have to wear like basically short shorts to school sometimes.
Wait, what?
And
Why?
Why is that?
yeah, so the Japanese uniform, like
Is
for our
boys short
schools,
shorts?
yes, for some schools, they wear basically like this like a Chinese military outfit, and then they'll wear like short shorts to go with it, and it's just like the weirdest combination sometimes. And like you look outside in Japan, and it's freezing. I'm wearing like three coats, and you'll see like young kids walking around wearing like short shorts or really short skirts or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't know how they're not freezing to death just because they're just not covered up.
You know, it's so funny. In Japan, they have like short shorts and super short skirts as part of like the required outfit, whereas
Right.
here in America, there was a huge. You get sent home from school
Yeah.
if you were wearing shorts that were more than 6 inches above the knee.
Right.
It would,
So legs, they don't seem to mind. Sometimes, you go to a private school and they have like certain regulations on how long a skirt or whatever it has to be. But overall in Japan, they seem not to care so much about the length of skirts or shorts, but what they really do care about women's tops. So like if you show like any cleavage, like if you, because a lot of Westerners will wear like cleavage shirts for women, and that's viewed as very inappropriate.
really,
But
because like
but
I would
legs,
just picture, not having been there, just picturing the stereotypical quote unquote schoolgirl outfit, for many people's just sexual fantasies, but just in general, and it involves both short skirts or whatnot with cleavage tops. So you're saying like the traditional Japanese schoolgirl outfit is a short skirt, but like a top that's like up here to the
well,
neck.
every school has their own uniform. So some, like a lot of schools, they have like to the knee length skirt, but not all schools. Like especially if you go to the worst inner city schools, they'll actually be a lot shorter. But yeah, like for the boys, like elementary school boys, they wear short shorts like a pedophile's paradise or something like that. And it's just like it blows my mind.
But the
I
but
just
the,
don't
the
know why.
tops, even with the short shorts, the tops
Oh
are
yeah,
like there's
yeah.
no cleavage
Usually,
showed.
usually, yeah, like they're really well covered. Like they'll
That
have
must just
like
be
their sailor uniform plus like the handkerchief top or whatever.
I
that
guess.
must just be like the Americanized fantasy version, not unlike the Chinese food here is very Americanized.
What?
Well, I mean,
You don't think that's the same Chinese food I'd get over in China?
if you look at like let's say animes like Sailor Moon, like most people would know, that's not exactly, but it's somewhat similar to what a lot of schoolgirls wear.
I guess they did always wear like the neckties and stuff in that cartoon,
Yeah.
didn't they? I try to
Yeah.
remember back then because
A lot of
it's
the
been a long time.
a lot of the school uniforms are based off of some kind of military uniform.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
So speaking of, I mean, not really uniforms, but just clothing in general. Have you guys ever purchased or worn like underwear that you just couldn't stand?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know because I recently got some underwear, some new underwear as a Christmas gift. Like expensive underwear for guys, if you guys don't know. Boxers aren't necessarily cheap. You can get cheap boxers, but they're pretty crappy. But if you get like, decent pair of boxers, 10 bucks or whatever, or boxers, boxer briefs, whatever. And for Christmas, one of the gifts that I got was like a nice like 3-pack of, nice branded boxer briefs. And I
Did
gotta
a
say,
dog buy those for you?
yes, a dog bought them for me. My family dog. No, when I used to live at my parents' house, my dog, yes, my dog would usually buy me the socks and underwear.
Socks and
Christmas
underwear.
gift,
That's
yeah.
right. That's what dogs always seem to buy. They must always go shopping together.
I know they might. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a dog, and maybe that's why I don't like them. Maybe that's why they don't fit right, is because the dog didn't buy me this pair. The dog didn't know what, like the person didn't know what they were
Right.
shopping for, because the dog has the expertise in that category.
He didn't put any higher thought into sizing it correctly because he's not capable, because his brain is not right for it.
That's true. Well, it's not the size that's the issue. I'm curious. You guys said, yes, you've definitely worn underwear that are not comfortable. I'm curious if you can, like, pick out a pair and describe them, or if it was just random.
I absolutely can. So I've been a boxer guy for many, many years now, going all the way back to high school. And not boxer briefs either, just boxer shorts, always.
Yeah.
So, can't believe I'm saying this. Not just a podcast that'll be broadcast, but now a live, apparently, podcast as well. So my wife and I are done having kids. I had a vasectomy not all that long ago. And to hold stuff tight while you're on the mend, they recommend you buy tighty whities. So, it's, like I said previous, I haven't worn those, since I was like, I don't know, 12.
Any reason tighty whities and not like boxer briefs? Is there a difference in the
I
way
guess-
that they like support?
I guess you probably could have done the boxer brief. I don't really know. That was what they said, and I just went out and bought them. I figured, it's going to heal in a little while, whatever. So I went out and bought some, and I wore them for that time. I kept wearing them because at that point I had purchased them, so I would wear them off and on. It's like lots of people wear these. They can't be that bad, Every time I put them on, I feel like someone is just squeezing lightly. Every time, like
And it's not in a good
day.
squeezing lightly, from
No,
what you're saying.
It's super
It's not like the,
uncomfortable.
where have these been all my life?
It's not that at all. No, definitely not. Maybe even like someone is just lightly flicking. It's really careful. Like it's not like a violent, ever so softly.
It's not like violent. It's just that vice that slowly gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Like, that is
It's
all.
an awful, awful sensation. I finally threw them away. They were still practically brand new, but I kept trying them and I just couldn't do it. I got rid of them.
So for you, it's just straight up tighty whities. It wasn't like a brand thing. It was just the way tighty whities are.
Yeah, it was
on
just
you.
that style.
How about you, Mark?
I would just wear boxers. I can't really stand like even boxer briefs. It's weird because I sort of like that freedom, but of course I can't go commando either because I don't like not
You
having
could.
some kind of layer. I don't know why. It's really weird.
Of course, in your short shorts, stuff might hang out the bottom.
Yeah.
So, I could have sworn we actually talked about if we were boxers or briefs guys before, and I thought all of us were like boxer brief guys, but it must have been some other dudes I was talking about underwear with that we had this conversation. Because apparently you guys are both boxer people. I'm a boxer brief guy. I was a boxer person for a long time, and I switched to boxer briefs when I started working in nursing because scrubs are so thin and so like everything was just like having a field day down there, doing what it wanted to do. I was in like boxers and boxer briefs. Everything had a mind of its own, or boxers and scrubs. So I had to switch over to some boxer briefs to keep things a little close to home, just to make sure that they knew their role, they knew their boundaries. It was like the electric fence for a dog. Like, stop right there. This is where your area is at. But this pair that I'm talking about that I got for Christmas that, they didn't go shopping with the dogs because the dogs know what they're picking out. It's a Puma. It's like a decently expensive brand of like underwear, and it's the like silky spandex type material. Like, it looks really nice. It's stretchy. Like they look like this nice pair of boxers. I'm wearing them right now for the second time ever since Christmas, and I only tried them today because I was like, maybe it was a fluke that day. But I seriously put them on, and not only do they they're slowly like riding up me. Like no matter it's sitting perfectly still, they just slowly like ride up and like are shrinking
Sucked right
in.
in.
They're getting it's this material that it's like heating up as I sit here because as they like shrinks, it's like heating everything up. So I keep like adjusting in my chair. And the worst part is I go to the bathroom and there's no flap in the front. It's sewn completely like it's just a flat piece. There's no access. So I have to like then play the little
Flap
game.
is mandatory.
I agree. I completely agree with you. The flap is mandatory. I know Mark has a completely different feeling on this, and I'm pointing to Mark on my screen. I don't know where he's at on like where you guys are actually seeing it, but hold on. Let me see. I can't even see because I got the wrong program pulled up right now. He's
Mark,
there. This
there.
guy. You're pointing. Yes, you are pointing at him as well. On my Skype, you're not pointing at him at all. But either way, so. They burn. Like they're the worst things I've ever worn in my life, and I bring it up because they were getting worse and worse as I'm sitting here doing the podcast. That's why I have to like.
And by the way, for any ladies who might happen to be watching live, that's all Jeff is wearing under the camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm actually not even sitting on a chair. I'm sitting on a toilet doing this podcast from my bathroom. But like, I couldn't find the flap. I had no other choice. I had to sit down. Podcast is done from here. Like that's what we're doing.
Gotta go.
What else are you gonna do? See, Mark, and there's somebody in the chat right now who's Mark. I got to get back to you on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said guys actually use that.
Yeah, sometimes.
I remember having a conversation with you. One of three things in my life that baffle me. And amazingly, I can't even think of the other two off the top of my head. But oh no, I know two of them.
Now there's one thing that baffles me.
No, there's only one thing that baffles me ever. No, there's two of them. One was asking the question of, do you brush the roof of your mouth?
Right. And I do.
Of course.
Most people, if you ask, they don't. I find it crazy. I find it off the wall. I thought it was absolutely normal. It came up randomly in a conversation. I made a comment about brushing the roof of my mouth, and somebody was like, you brush the roof of your mouth? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I started asking everybody, and then all of a sudden, about 10% of people do. And even when you ask that question, most people say, like, they'll be like, why would you have to brush the roof of your mouth? I'm like, you brush your tongue touches the roof of your mouth all day long. And their response is, you brush your tongue? Like, there's some people that are like that as well, which I find crazy. So that's something else.
Most people are filthy hogs then, and we need not discuss this any further.
I would agree. But the other thing was I remember sitting at a Coney Island, specifically at a Coney Island with you, Cody, and Paul. And I came back from the bathroom, and you guys were in the midst of a conversation talking about why they still have flaps on underwear because nobody uses it. And I thought you guys were kidding. It was at Sunrise, at the Rise.
And I thought we did that on our radio show with Matt.
We did. We talked about it because it's been one of those things that's bothered me ever since. And I thought you guys were kidding. And it turned out you guys and most people I asked would rather unbutton their pants and pull them down than just use the fly and use the little, like, the flap.
Yeah, when I'm not wearing a belt, it doesn't really bother me. It's sometimes quicker just to pull it down.
Did you just say when you're not wearing a thong?
No, when I'm not wearing a belt.
Yeah, of course not. Like, he always wears a thong. There's no time he's not wearing a thong.
You gotta floss that. Okay, yeah, because, like, when you wear a belt, of course, you're probably saving time, but I don't know, it's about same amount of time or even less to just unbutton and pull it down versus, unzip, try to find that little hole, pull it out. Yeah, it's something.
Do you have that much problems finding the hole?
Depends on your
Okay, so do you find that much problems finding the flap in the underwear, sir?
Yikes.
Sometimes, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's an issue. It's like sometimes it's not. My boxers aren't perfectly aligned with the hole in my pants, so you have to
By the way, you
search around, and it gets a little awkward when you're like have your hand down there, just like, oh, where's the hole?
You totally just landed on like one of the biggest problems with the flap is when stuff gets off kiltered from each other. The fly in the jeans or whatever in the hole in the boxer shorts. And I wouldn't call it a problem, but it's a little tricky to navigate from time to time. But maybe you also touched on something else that could be like the deciding factor on how much you like the flap. Is I always wear a belt, like 100% of the time when I have on pants, jeans or whatever. I have a belt with it.
I'd argue with you on that one.
And
Are you
there's
saying
more
that you
hassle.
put the belt on your pants before you put your pants on?
No.
Then that's not 100% of the time, sir. Oh, nailed you!
I was gonna say, and I guess not 100% of the time, because like right now I have like athletic pants on that don't have a belt. So, but like yeah, anytime I have pants that have a belt loops on them, I'm wearing a belt with them.
And I will tell you, somebody in the chat did just say, I don't usually brush my tongue. That's what mouthwash is for.
I don't use mouthwash.
I very rarely use mouthwash.
Even when I use mouthwash, it doesn't replace the tongue brushing for me. It's an additional thing. I'm very bad though. I don't floss, so I guess
I'm bad with flossing too.
yeah. I guess I can look at myself and be like, ew, you're gross, Jeff. You don't floss, but I'm really bad at that.
Right now we'll probably have a string of emails saying you guys don't floss, you're sick.
Yeah, I'm unsubbed, not listening to you
Right.
anymore. Like,
Right. All the flossing advocates we just lost their listeners.
oh,
Talking about belts, though, here's a question: what do belts do?
do they hold up the pants, or does the pants hold them up? Like,
Yeah, because the belt loops, right?
that's all Mitch
It's an interesting
Hedberg's like.
argument because I never thought of that. And then yeah,
And
it
then you
just
listen to
makes-
Mitch Hedberg probably, and yes, that question.
My pants legitimately fall off of me if I don't have a belt with them. So
right.
Is it because you're losing so much weight due to your ambitious workout routine, you sexy beast, or do you buy clothes that are too big?
no, because I've started buying smaller pants, so that's not it. But I still just need the belt. I don't know. Maybe I'm weirdly shapen.
Okay.
Don't
Oh,
have
Jeff,
the
you were
hips.
saying, are you gonna throw away those underwear, or because I got like Mike, you threw away your whitey tighties?
It's sad because there was 3 pairs, and this is the second time since Christmas I've even attempted to wear them because I thought maybe the first time, I don't know how it would be a fluke. First time you're wearing the underwear, maybe it's a fluke. Maybe they need to go through the washer before they get rid of that vice grip hot on my crotch feeling. I don't know, but no.
Shrinky dink feeling.
Well, because here comes the interesting thing. Because like it's okay that your girlfriend gives you these boxers, but you don't like them. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to a friend's like, these boxers, I don't like them. Do you want to take my underwear?
They sell
Or
those
do you
at
throw 'em
Goodwill.
away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would never
I don't
buy
know.
underwear from Goodwill, but they sell it there.
You could donate them.
I could donate them to Goodwill. Maybe somebody would buy them.
I'm sure
Well,
somebody.
Because for me, I keep my boxers way past their expiration date. As in, they get paper thin, they get holes.
They're
and I'll
just an
keep on wearing 'em.
elastic band by the time he's done.
Seriously, like,
It's pretty much
I-
free balling just with like a fanny pack is what it turns into.
Basically, I wear boxers until I don't have a problem with finding the hole or the flap. It's just the whole, it's just everywhere on my boxers. And I'll wear boxers for like 6 or 8 years, and then I'll okay, I guess it's time to throw them away.
Will I admit that I have some boxers or boxer briefs that are slightly past their time, whereas mainly where mine start ripping is the elastic band. When you pull them up, when they start getting old because they go through the washer a lot, and it starts to the elastic band starts to separate from the rest of them. But those kind of make their way into the garbage relatively quickly thereafter. Not the rag bin. I don't know. You can put socks in the rag bin, but boxers just have no place in the rag bin when they.
Mark knows his boxers are bad when they get the flap in the front. When they've ripped that level that they have the flap. Oh, time for new ones.
No problem.
It's like
yeah.
the culmination of their life's work. We've
Well,
done it. If I wear these long enough, they will eventually have a flap, is what you're saying. So I just have to
Right.
constantly wear them.
Well, it's weird because I don't really buy new clothes that often. So, but I treat my clothes pretty well, so I'll wear them for a long time. But like with shirts, after they get a stain on them and I can't get rid of them, I'll throw them away. But with underwear, they get holes and stuff. Nobody gets to see it besides my wife, and so I don't really feel the need to throw them away. So I just I probably have underwear now that I got like in high school or something.
I
At
mean,
least quite a while ago.
which is fine if they're still functional, but you're making it sound like half of what you're wearing is non-functional pieces. It's like, oh, I'm wearing these pants that no longer are even pants because the legs don't exist anymore. But
well, sometimes I get really like I'll get drunk and stuff, and I'll put on my boxers, and it'll catch.
I really want to know where this conversation can possibly be going.
That was
right
the
now.
best sentence I've ever heard. Sometimes you get drunk and put on boxers.
I'll catch the lower edge, and then the seam on the bottom of the boxers will start to unwind. So like the boxer shorts will get shorter as I wear them.
Only when you're drunk, though.
I don't know, usually it catches. Usually I don't have problems finding the hole in the boxers. Yeah.
I am generally not a person who is speechless. I don't know how to rebut at all. I have nothing further to add to that.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Good pod.
Whenever I answer the phone, I'm like, "Hello."
What pissed you off?
It's a great argument to have.
I love my mom, but I think she's half crazy for doing that.
How dare you?
Do you work with your girlfriend, Mark? Or your wife, Mark?
I keep them separated. Sometimes I call people, they don't answer the phone. I'm like,
Wrong number, click.
Well, he's not that smart, but sometimes he sounds like he knows what he's doing.
yeah,
Go.
Therefore, you're an ass, and I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, but what do we know?